Hello guys, my name is Harinder Jangra and in this video I'm going to show you how you can configure boundary and what is boundary and why we configure boundary. In our last video I have uh, installed SCCM server, so nothing else, I configured it. So today we will configure boundary group, and we will try to understand what is the use of boundary. So this is our hierarchy structure. So I tried to explain it through the diagram. So our domain name is cisco.com and the total number of client machines we have around 2000. We have a primary standalone site and our site code is IND and our site name is Gurugram. Uh, along with we have three remote location where we have installed local DP. So the site name, remote location name is Bangalore, Noida, and Delhi. So this is the details of our infra. In our head office, we have installed primary site with DP role, and the server name is mecm.cisco.com. So this series of IP address is running in our head office 10.0.0 and /8. The total number of client machine is 600 in our head office. This is the our first remote location where we have installed DP, and the DP name is dp-bng.cisco.com, and this is the IP address. This is the network series are running in this remote locations, and the same number of client machines we have in Bangalore. In Noida also we have installed DP, and we have this series of IP address is running there, and 650 client machine is there. So in Delhi, we have also a DP, and this series of IP address is running there, and the number of client machine is 150. So let's try to understand what is boundary. So guys, boundary is a network location which contain your devices that you want to manage through SCCM. So if you have installed SCCM and nothing else you have configured, so the first thing you have to configure boundary, because through boundary your SCCM understand which device it need to manage. And if a device that is not coming in your configured boundary, it means your SCCM cannot manage that machine. So through boundary, your SCCM understand, yeah, this device I need to manage. Manage in the sense first SCCM install SCCM client agent there, and then it manage that machine. So this is the prereq. If we want to install a SCCM client agent in a machine, the first thing, the machine should be in boundary. So we have some types of boundary are available. A new type of boundary is introduced in latest current branch. So now totally we can create 5 types of boundary. So let me write here. The first is IP address range. Second is IP subnet based. Third is Active Directory site based. And fourth is IPv6. And 5.1 is the new one, that is for VPN. So this is the new type of boundary that introduced in SCCM latest current branch, and we can use this boundary for VPN purpose. So the first type of boundary is IP address range. It means we can define a specific IP address range, like this is the series of a IP address 10.0.0.1 to 10.0.0.10. Yeah, we want to manage these devices, so we can create boundary based on our IP address range. The second IP subnet. If you know subnetting and if you have some knowledge of network, then you can create a subnet based boundary also. So automatically the device, if device is coming in that particular network, it will be count under a boundary. Third one is Active Directory site based. So most of the company uses Active Directory site in remote location. So for example, this is your head office cisco.com, but in your remote location, you also have created a another child domain controller here. So the child domain controller name is bangalore.cisco.com. So all of your client machine that is in Bangalore location will be joined under bangalore.cisco.com. So this will be a Active Directory site. So you can create Active Directory site based boundaries so that automatically all the devices which comes under the particular Active Directory site will be uh, managed or can be managed through SSM. And the fourth one is IPv6. You can create IPv6 based boundary if you know or if you are using IPv6 in your infra. The fifth one is VPN. So this is the new type of boundary, and you can create a boundary for a VPN purpose. For example, a device, a user is working from doing work from home, and he is connected through VPN. So how our SCCM understand that device is connected through VPN or not? So there is something you can define a particular connection name, like if the connection name is matching with this particular string, then it will be connected through VPN, and then it should connected with this particular site system server, and it should get content from this particular DP. So that's why we can create VPN boundary. So second thing is what is boundary group? So why we create boundary group and what is the difference between boundary and boundary group? For example, in your head office, the number of IP addresses or number of IP subnet is running. So you can create different boundaries for your head office in SSM. So like if a particular range is running in a particular department, then you can create a separate boundary for that, and then another boundary you can create for separate department or for separate subnets. So if you have created 5 boundaries for your head office only and 3 boundary for your different remote location, then uh, you will have to create a boundary group also. So right now, according to this structure, we will have to create 4 boundary group. The first boundary group will be for our head office, and rest 3 boundary group for your remote locations. So accordingly, the boundary you will have to add in a respective boundary group. So it will be the logical grouping of your multiple boundaries. So the first use of boundary group is it is the logical grouping of your boundaries. And the second thing, so guys, you create boundary group for 3 purposes. First is logical grouping of multiple boundaries. Second is for site assignment, and third for is content location. There is a limitation of a boundary. If you create a boundary and if you haven't add that boundary in a boundary group, then you cannot use that boundary, because it is mandatory to add a boundary in boundary group. Then only you can use that boundary. Otherwise, there are no use of a boundary if you haven't add that boundary in boundary group. So now there are 3 purpose of boundary group. First, We can logical grouping of multiple boundaries in a boundary group. The second is site assignment. For example, in your hierarchy, you have a cache site and you have multiple primary site. So based on the boundary group, your client machine can understand when we install SSM client agent, then your client machine can understand which site code I need to pick. Because if you have multiple primary site, then definitely you will have multiple site code. So how your SSM client machine will understand which site code I need to pick. So based on the boundary group, your client machine will pick like, yeah, this uh, site code I need to get. So that's why we use site assignment for uh, under boundary group. The third thing is content location. So this is also a very important thing, guys. Content location. Actually, in content location, we will have to add a site system server, and site system server will serve content for software update and applications or other contents, and along with it will provide your management point details. So this is our hierarchy structure in head office. For example, you have created two boundaries for Bangalore location, 172.16.1.0/16, and there is one another boundary 172.19.1.0 for your Bangalore remote location. So now what you will need to do, you need to you need to create two boundary for Bangalore location, and you need to create a single boundary group for Bangalore location. Then you will have to add those two boundaries in that particular boundary group, and then you will have to enable site assignment and content location. So when you choose content location, means when you add site system server, then you will have to add its respective DP name. Otherwise, what will happen? The client machine will exist that exist in your Bangalore location can get content from a different DP if you have configured it wrong. Because through boundary group, your client machine understand which DP I have assigned and where I need to get content. So we will cover it practically, but first we understand like what is the use of this. And there is a default site boundary group also uh, when you install SCCM server. So by default, a boundary group will get created. The name of the boundary group is a default boundary group is default and your site code, and I guess there is site code name. So what is the use of default boundary group? So guys, mainly we use it for fallback purpose. If a client machine that is not falling under any boundary group, then it can goes to default site boundary. And if you have specified any particular site system server under default site boundary group, then the particular client machine that is not falling under any boundary group, so it can get content from site system server that we have specified in default site boundary group. So but we have to configure it for fallback. And there is one another thing, what is overlapping boundary. So there can be a scenario if your client machine is the part of two boundary group, and uh, it happen when you add the same boundary in two or more boundary group. For example, you created a boundary and then you created two different boundary group. So maybe you have added that boundary in both boundary group, so that what will happen, your client machine will get confused which site code or which content location means which site system I need to contact. So that is overlapping boundary, we say. So what will happen when overlapping will be there? So in overlapping case, your CM will provide all the information to client machine, like these are the site system server and site code information are available for you. Now client machine will have all the list of site system server, and client machine will choose it randomly. So there is no specification we can configure. So it depends on your client machine. Your client machine will automatically pick up and automatically assign it. So which one is first, or like it will choose randomly. We cannot configure it. So let's do this practical. We don't have these three remote location practically, but yeah, we can create boundaries based on this. And let me show you. This is my SCCM server. So how you can create boundary? Go to administration, expand hierarchy configuration, and click on boundaries. So right now we don't have any boundary. Right click on free space or right click on this and click on create boundary. Provide the description. Yes, we are creating this boundary for head office. For example, yes, we are creating this for sales department. And now we will have to choose the type of boundary, which type of boundary we want to create. IP subnet, Active Directory site, IPv6, IP address, and VPN. So the best and recommended method is IP address range and Active Directory site. So let me create IP address range based boundary. So click on this and choose IP address and provide the IP address range. So let me check it. We have 10.0.0 series of IP address is running in head office, so we can provide the range. 10.0.0, for example, one is our gateway. So let's put this handout. Click on apply and click on OK. For example, we have created another boundary for our head office. Head office. Now we are creating it for finance department, and the same type of boundary we are creating, and the range of boundary is 10.0.0.101 to 10.0.0.200. So now we have created two boundaries, and both boundaries are for our head office. So we have added our description so that we can understand for which purpose we have created this boundary. Now let's create another boundaries for our different remote locations. So yeah, uh, we have Bangalore remote location, and the series of IP address running is running 172.16.1. So let me create another boundary for our Bangalore location. Create boundary and provide the description. Yes, Bangalore sales department and IP address range. For example, we have created 172.161.2, 172.16.1.100. Apply. Okay. If you have running multiple different IP address range or subnets, you can create multiple boundaries for a particular remote location. So now let's create another boundary. So right now we are creating it for Noida, and for Noida we are creating it for sales department, and IP address range, and IP address range is 172.1.2, 172.17.1.100. Apply. Okay. Let's create another boundary for our third remote location, Delhi. So for Delhi remote location, we are creating it for sales department. Choose the type of boundary, IP address range 10.0.0. Oh, sorry. 172.18.1.2, 172.18.1.100. Yeah. Click on apply, click on OK. So guys, as I told you, there are no use of a boundary if you haven't add that boundary in a boundary group. So right now you can see the group count is 0. So these boundary are useless if we didn't add this boundary in boundary group. So let's create a boundary group for these respective remote locations. So now we have uh, we have 4 location including our head office. So one is head office and second is Bangalore, Noida, Delhi. So we have 4 locations. So we will create 4 boundary group. So click on boundary group and you can see there is a default site boundary group, and you cannot add boundary in this. So the default is it is mainly it is for fallback purpose. So let's create another boundary. Just right click on this and click on create boundary group. Provide the description like for which location you are creating it, or for which purpose you are creating it. So let me add a name for, yes, we are creating it for head office. So provide the name and click on add so that you can add all boundaries So you can click on add and you can add your respective boundary. Yes, we have created 2 boundaries for our head office. We can understand based on our description, and this is one time activity, and guys, very carefully you will have to add it, because if you have added a wrong boundary, then all of your client machine that is falling under that boundary, so we will get content from a different DP. So that's why we have to we have to take care it very carefully, and this is one time activity. So yes, we have created 2 boundary for our head office. Click on OK, and now just click on second tab, reference. So as I told you, there are 3 uses of a boundary group. The first is logical grouping of multiple boundaries. So yes, we have added 2 boundaries and we can add more boundaries. And the second is for site assignment. So we can enable site assignment. So what is site assignment? Site assignment means like when we install SCCM client agent in a machine, then based on the boundary group, your client machine can understand which site code I need to pick. So if you have multiple primary site, then your client machine will get confused. So which site code I need to pick? So if you have specified the particular site name here, and if you have enabled, then your client machine will understand, yeah, this boundary group created for me, and in this boundary group, they have uh, enabled this particular site code. So yes, they will get only this particular site code. So yes, and the third one is site system server. This will be for content location, guys. So like if you haven't add any site system server, your client machine won't be able to get any content from DP or any site system server, because it won't be able to get MP, a DP, or soft update point. So yes, click on add, and right now in our environment we just have one DP that is in our head office, so that's why it is showing only one DP. If you have created multiple DPs, then all will be listed here and you will have to select which one is for this particular boundary group. So yes, we are selecting it and click on apply and click on OK. So same thing, you can create multiple boundary group. Now we are creating it for Bangalore, and click on add and add the boundary for that we created for Bangalore. And same thing, enable site assignment and click on add. As of now, we just have one DP that is in our head office, and we don't have DP listed here. That will be for our Bangalore location. So if you have created a DP for Bangalore location, then you will have to select Bangalore DP so that your client machine, which is in a Bangalore location, can get content from Bangalore DP. So don't select, apply, okay. Same thing, you will have to create another boundary group for our different location, Noida. And yes, we have added Noida boundaries in this, and site assignment, apply, okay. Same thing, you have to create boundary group for your Delhi remote location. Click on add and add the boundary. Yes, site assignment, and click on apply, click on okay. So when you create DP in these remote locations, so you will have to add add site system server. So if you open the property of a boundary group, then you have to click on reference, and then you have to add, click on add under site system server. So guys, there is one another thing that is for fallback. For example, in your DP, in your remote location for Noida location, you haven't distributed specific content on this remote location, then you can enable fallback. Fallback means like if your client machine is trying to get the content from its respective DP, and uh, uh, it is not able to get this content on this DP, then it should try to get this content from any different DP that we have configured under relationship tab. So in boundary group, you can define a relationship. For example, we want to define a relationship if Noida client machine won't be able to get content from its Noida DP, then it should go to Bangalore DP. Then we can specify it, and this is one-way direction. It doesn't mean like Bangalore client machine will also get content from Noida DP if they are unable to get it from Bangalore DP. So this is one-way direction. So you can define it under relationship in boundary group. So let's open a boundary group, Noida boundary group, and click on properties and click on relationship tab, third tab. Now we have to add another boundary group. So just click on add. Now we can choose, yes, um, we want to add Bangalore boundary group if our client machine that is under Noida location. If client machine is not able to get content from Noida DP, then it should go to Bangalore DP. So we will have to add it uh, targeted boundary group, and this will be the DP fallback time. Like if client machine is unable to get content, then after how much time it should get to Bangalore DP. So yes, after 10 minutes of interval, it should go to Bangalore DP for DP soft update point and management point. So if you tick this, it means it will not go for this. So never fall back. So right now, yes, we want to enable fallback. Click on apply, apply, okay. So this is the use of relationship tab. So guys, thank you for watching this video. In this video, we try to understand what is the use of boundary and what is the use of boundary group. and there is some other things like overlapping boundary relationship and the new type of boundaries that introduce. uh, in our next video I will try to cover what is a discovery method and why we configure it. Thank you for watching this video, guys.